On December 14, 1996, a fully loaded freighter lost power while traversing the lower Mississippi River. Unable to navigate, the runaway ship headed straight for two moored vessels packed with nearly 900 passengers and a marketplace filled with thousands.
There was no doubt in my mind that one time we were going to kill hundreds of people.
Less than a mile from the French Quarter lies New Orleans' second biggest attraction, the Riverwalk Marketplace. Built along the banks of the lower Mississippi River, the Riverwalk shares the property with a Hilton Hotel. Both locations enjoy spectacular panoramic views of the river, but that view comes with a risk.
The lower Mississippi is a place that can be compared to a freeway in New York. It's very busy. 6,000 ocean-going ships a year.
There's a lot of twists and turns. You have deep places, you have shallow places. It's the hydraulics, it's the physics, the eddies, the currents. All those combination of things mixed together that make this probably the most hazardous port in the United States.
Because of the danger of transiting the lower Mississippi, river pilots escort vessels into port. When pilot Ted Davison boarded the Bright Field, he was given no reason to believe the ship was in trouble.
I went through a lengthy discussion with the captain whether or not the ship was ready to go and if it was seaworthy, and he answered everything in the affirmative. And at that point in time, we got underway and came down the river.
What the captain didn't tell Davison was that the Bright Field had endured a series of engine malfunctions along its journey from Indonesia to New Orleans.
The story of Brightfield started long before Brightfield arrived to Mississippi River. The ship has suffered numerous failures of the engine system. The ship was a problem to the extent that when it arrived to the U.S. coast with its cargo, the owners fired the engine master for lack of maintenance and proper handling of the mechanical system of the ship.
At approximately 2 p.m., as the Bright Field passed under the Crescent City connection bridges, the ship turned left, pointing toward the Riverwalk Marketplace and two commercial vessels moored alongside the wharf. Instantly, the pilot knew something was wrong.
Everything went quiet, and no longer did we have any vibration. Upon that, I immediately looked at the ship's tachometer, and it had gone from 60 to 70 revs to zip. And I knew right away we had a serious engine problem.
The Bright Field's main engine had shut itself off due to low main engine lubricating oil pressure. Investigators believed the malfunction resulted from contaminants in the oil, clogging the pump's filter. Or low levels in the sump may have caused air to be pumped into the system, bringing about a rapid depressurization. 3 targets lay in front of the runaway freighter: a cruise ship with nearly 300 passengers and a gaming vessel with over 600 passengers. In between them was the Riverwalk Mall, crowded with over 7,000 patrons.
The actions I took was to call the Coast Guard, to start blowing the danger signal, to get on the radio and ask for tug assistance. And I repeatedly told the captain to let go both anchors.
But the blaring of the ship's horn made it difficult for the crew to hear Davison's command to drop anchor.
The communication was happening over radio. The radio was not audible to the person who was supposed to receive the signal. I'm talking about the person who was supposed to be responsible for anchor.
There was no doubt in my mind we were going to strike and slice through a passenger ship with people on it. And instead of this ship continuing to turn to the left toward the passenger ship, at the last moment, it went right.
Still with no way to slow down, the Bright Field headed straight for the unsuspecting patrons at the Riverwalk Marketplace. At a speed of 14 knots, the Bright Field smashed into the wharf, shattering concrete as if the ship were an icebreaker.
When Brightfield came to shore, It came in contact with a walkway that is along the shopping mall and which is in front of a hotel. Bow of the ship went into the walkway, crashed it basically, and kept moving into the shopping mall.
Actually, I felt very little on the bridge of the ship. What amazed me, though, is to see the buildings crumbling like they were made out of paper mache. I was asking myself, is this made out of concrete or paper?
When the ship finally stopped, it was perfectly berthed between the two moored vessels. Moments later, the Coast Guard arrived to secure the scene. Rumors spread about loss of life.
When I first came to the property, Mayor Morial told me 3 confirmed dead, another 3 probable. We don't know how many people are going to be in there. This could really be bad.
Fortunately, because of the time of day, no guests were in their rooms at the Hilton. Miraculously, there were no fatalities from the accident. But 4 people were severely injured. And property damage was in excess of $12 million. Today, the fortunate outcome of the Brightfield incident has not been lost on the Riverwalk property owners or the U.S. Coast Guard.
When the Brightfield occurred, we had no warning. Our security captain had just received a call saying a ship is headed to the shopping center, you need to evacuate. He stood up and the ship hit. I mean, there was a certain amount of luck, divine providence, however you feel about that sort of thing. We then put in, with the introduction of the port and the Coast Guard, a riverfront alert system was installed.
The River Alert Network is an advanced warning system. Upon receipt of a vessel which is experiencing some sort of a problem, they would notify either our vessel traffic service or our Governor Nichols light operator. Once we receive knowledge of that, we would activate a system by pushing a button. Once we push that button, we also follow up with a voice notification to the property tenants located along the riverfront, notifying them that there is an issue which they need to be aware of.
To complement the Riverfront Alert Network, the Riverwalk chose to invest in an additional security system that monitors vessel activity along the Mississippi River.
We have 4 cameras that face out to the river. If she determined that there was a danger, then what she would do, she would pull the maritime alarm, and then that would tell people to evacuate the property away from the river. If we would have had this system in 1996, the operator would have focused on the ship, seen that it had lost power, and would have ordered an evacuation. We'd have had a full 3 minutes, which would have given us time to get people safely out of the property.
Although these new safety systems will help expedite an evacuation, they won't stop another Brightfield incident from occurring. It's simply one of the inherent risks of placing a highly populated commercial center along one of the most dangerous bends of the Mississippi River.